Shalom, shalom, shalom. Shalom, Wakazak Mashpaka. Welcome to another episode of Daily Tonic in the Word right here on GC Creative. And I remain your one and your only humble host, Daniel Fiesel Yashurala. And today we are embarking on the journey from where we studied yesterday, the book of Vayiqra, that's Leviticus. We take it from chapter 13, going straight down to chapter 17. Why we're actually doing this, we don't want the case whereby we'll be mixing up two books together in a chapter. We have been able to cover from chapter 1 to chapter 12 so far, the book of Vayiqra, and we're having 27 chapters in that particular book. So since we've covered 12 chapters, we are seeing how we can split the other parts equally, in which we are having 15 chapters left. So we're taking it 5 chapters till we end the book of Vayiqra and go to the next book. This is the book of Vayiqra, chapter 13. And it says, And Yahuwah spoke unto El Moshe and El Aharon, saying, When a man shall have in the skin of his flesh a rising, a scab, or bright spot, and it be in the skin of his flesh like the plague of leprosy, then he shall be brought unto El Aharon the priest, or unto one of the sons of the priest. And the priest shall look on the plague of the skin of the flesh, and when the hair of the plague is turned white, and the plague is sighted, and the plague in sight be deeper than the skin of the flesh, and it is a plague of leprosy, and the priest shall look on him and pronounce him unclean. And if the bright spot be white in the skin of the flesh, and in the sight be not deeper than the skin, and the hair thereof be not turned white, then the priest shall shut him up that has the plague 7 days. And the priest shall look on him the 7th day, and behold, if the plague be in his sight, be at a stay, and the plague spread not in the skin, then the priest shall shut him up 7 days more. And the priest shall look on him again the 7th day, and behold, if the plague be somewhat dark, the plague spread not in the skin, the priest shall pronounce him clean. It is but a scab, and he shall wash his clothes and be clean. Now this part that's not the leprosy is talking about that so-called skin disease, which we call today vitiligo, in case you don't know. So let us move on. Verse 7. But if the scab spread much abroad in the skin, after that he had been seen of the priest for his cleansing, he shall be seen of the priest again. And if the priest see that, behold, the scab spread in the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is leprosy. When a plague of leprosy is in a man, then he shall be brought unto the priest, and the priest shall see him, and behold, if the rising be white in the skin, and it have turned the hair white, and there be quick raw flesh in the rising, it is an old leprosy in the skin of his flesh. And the priest shall pronounce him unclean, and shall not shut him up, for he is unclean. If the leprosy break out abroad in the skin, the leprosy cover all the skin, and the leprosy cover all the skin of him that has the plague, from his head even to his feet, wheresoever the priest looks. Then the priest shall consider, and behold, if the leprosy have covered all his skin, he shall pronounce him clean that has the plague. It it is all turned white, he is clean. But when the raw flesh appears in him, then he is unclean. Or if the raw flesh turn again and be changed unto white, he shall come unto the priest, and the priest shall see him, and behold, if the plague be turned into white, then the priest shall pronounce him clean, and that the plague and shall pronounce him clean that has the plague. He is clean. Why do you say that he is clean? Because at that point, in the Bible, that leprosy actually, he keeps consuming the human flesh, exposing some raw parts, some raw flesh. He said, but when it turns white, that means when it's covered up, when it's looking like a normal flesh, not like looking like a raw flesh anymore. If you come back and the priest can see this, they can pronounce him clean. And maybe probably it might be an injury, not actually a plague of leprosy. The flesh also, in which even in the skin thereof was a boil, and is healed. And in the place of the boil, there be a white rising, and a bright spot, white and somewhat reddish, and it be showed to the priest. And if when the priest sees it, behold, it be in sight lower than the skin, and the hair thereof be turned white, the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a plague of leprosy, broken out of the boil. But if the priest look on it, and behold, there be no white hair therein, and it be not lower than the skin, but somewhat dark, then the priest shall shut him up 7 days. And if it spread much abroad in the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a plague. But if the bright spot stays in place and spread not, it is a burning boil, and the priest shall pronounce him clean. Or if there be any flesh in the skin, whereof there is a hot burning, and the quick flesh that burns turns have a white bright spot, somewhat reddish or white, then the priest shall look upon it, and behold, if the hair in the bright spot be turned white, and it be in sight darker than the skin, it is a leprosy broken out from the burning. Wherefore the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a plague of leprosy. But if the priest look on him, and behold, there be no white hair in the bright spot, and it be no lower than the other skin, but be somewhat dark, then the priest shall shut him up 7 days. And the priest shall look upon him the 7th day, and if it be spread much abroad in the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a plague of leprosy. And if the bright spot stay in its place and spread not in the skin, but it be somewhat dark, it is a rising of the burning, and the priest shall pronounce him clean, for it is the inflammation of the burning. If a man or a woman have a plague upon the head or the beard, then the priest shall see the plague, and behold, if it be in the sight darker than the skin, and there be in it a yellow thin hair, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a dry scab, even a leprosy upon the head or beard. And if the priest look on the plague of the skull, and behold, it be not in sight darker than the skin, and that there is no black hair in it, then the priest shall shut up him that has the plague of the skull 7 days. And in the 7th day the priest shall look on the plague, and behold, if the skull spread not, and there be in it no yellow hair, and the scalp be not in the sight that deeper than the skin, he shall be shaven, but the scalp shall he not shave, and the priest shall shut him up that has the scalp 7 days more. In the 7th day the priest shall look on the scalp, and behold, if the scalp be not spread in the skin, nor be in deeper in sight, deeper than the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him clean, and he shall wash his clothes and be clean. But if the scalp spread much in the skin after the cleansing, then the priest shall look on him, and behold, if the scalp be spread in the skin, the priest shall not seek for yellow hair, he is unclean. But if the scalp be in the sight at a stay, and that there is black hair grown up therein, the scalp is healed, it is clean, and the priest shall pronounce him clean. And if a man also or a woman have in the skin, or in the skin of their flesh, bright spots, even white bright spots, then the priest shall look, and behold, if the bright spot is in the skin of their flesh be darkish white, it is a freckled spot that grows in the skin, it is clean. Now, do you see that we actually have the same issues? They talk about when that spot goes bright. That's supposed to that our people back then were not light-skinned. They were not Caucasians. They were dark-skinned. That whiteness actually is going into the aspect. If you observe, even those with vitiligo, when that dead cells of their skin start unfolding, their skin color turn exactly as the color of those Edomites. Or is it possible for an Edomite that already had a particular skin color to now turn lighter than that? Let us spread on. Verse 40. And the man whose hair is falling off his head, he is bald, yet is he clean. And he that has his hair falling off from the part of his head towards his face, he is forehead bald, yet he is clean. And if there be a bald head or a bald forehead with white reddish sore, it is a leprosy sprung up in his bald head or his bald forehead. Now, if you observe here, he won't talk about the baldness. No, we have some actually who are bald on the forehead, whereby their hairline starts from here. They have a bald forehead. When talking about those that are even bald, maybe that they are bald like this way, and some actually they are even bald that they are bald almost halfway the back of their head, and we have some that are actually bald at the center stadium of their head. Because you are bald doesn't mean that you should not start shaving off your head. Yah created you for who you are. Be proud of who Yahweh created to be. Let us spread on. Verse 43. Then the priest shall look upon it, and if the rising of the sore be white reddish in his bald head or his bald forehead, as leprosy spread in the skin of the flesh, he is a leprous man. He is unclean. The priest shall pronounce him utterly unclean. His plague is in his head. And the leper in whom the plague is, his clothes shall be rent, and his hand bored, and his hand bare, and he shall put a covering upon his upper lips, and shall cry, unclean, unclean. All the day wherein the plague shall be in him, he shall be defiled, he is unclean. He shall dwell alone without the camp, that's outside the camp, shall his habitation be. The garment also that be plague of leprosy is in, whether it be a woolen garment or a linen garment, whether it be in the warp or woof or linen or lining or of woolen, even in a skin or in anything made of skin. And if the plague be greenish or reddish in the garment or in the skin, either in the warp or in the woof or in anything of skin, it is a plague of leprosy, and shall be showed unto the priest. And the priest shall look upon the plague and shut up it that has the plague 7 days. And it shall look on the plague for the seventh day. If the plague be spread in the garment, either in the warp or in the woof or in the skin, or in any works that is made of the skin, the plague of fretting leprosy, it is unclean. He shall therefore burn that garment, whether warp or woof, or in woolen or in linen, or anything of skin, wherein the leprosy is, for it is a fretting leprosy, it shall be burnt in the fire. And if the priest shall look, and behold, the plague be not spread in the garment, either in the warp or in the woof, or in anything of skin, then the priest shall command that they wash the thing wherein the plague is, and he shall be shut in up 7 days more. And the priest shall look upon the plague after that it is washed, and behold, if the plague have not changed its color, and the plague has not spread, it is unclean. You shall burn it in the fire. It is a fret inward. Whether it bear within or without. And if the priest look, and behold, the plague be somewhat dark after the washing of it, then he shall rend it out of the garment, and out of the skin, or out of the skin, or out of the warp, or out of the woof. And if it appears still in the garment, either in the warp or in the woof, or in anything of skin, it is a spreading plague. You shall burn that wherein the plague is with fire. And the garment, either warp or woof, or whatsoever thing of skin it be, which you shall wash it, if the plague be departed from them, then it shall be washed the second time, and shall be clean. This is the Torah of the plague of the leprosy in the garment of woolen or linen, either in the warp or woof, or anything of skin, to pronounce it clean or to pronounce it unclean. Chapter 14. And Yahuwah spoke unto Moshe, saying, This shall be the Torah of the leper in the day of his cleansing. It shall be brought unto the priest, and the priest shall go forth out of the camp, and the priest shall look, and behold, if the plague of leprosy be healed in the leper, then shall the priest command to take for him that is to be cleansed 2 birds alive and clean, and cedar wood, and scarlet, and hyssop, and and the priest shall command that one of the birds be killed in the earthen vessel, over running water. For as for the living bird, he shall take it, and the cedar wood, and the scarlet, and the hyssop, and shall dip them and the living bird in the blood of the bird that was killed over the running water, and he shall sprinkle upon him that is to be cleansed from the leprosy 7 times, and shall pronounce him clean, and shall let the living bird loose into the open field, and he that is to be cleansed shall wash his clothes, and shall shave off his hair, and wash himself in water, that he may be clean. And after that he shall come into the camp, and shall tarry abroad out of his tent 7 days. But it shall be on the 7th day that he shall shave all his hair off his head and his beard and his eyebrows, even all his hair, he shall shave off, and he shall wash his clothes. Also, he shall wash his flesh in water, and he shall be clean. This chapter 9, this verse 9 actually make me remember this Moabite cartoon, Saitama, the One Punch Man. That's the guy that has no hair on his head, no beard, and even no eye, no eyebrow. May Yahweh have mercy. Let's just go on. Verse 10. And on the eighth day, he shall take his lamb. He shall take 2 he lambs without blemish, and one ewe lamb of the first year without blemish, and the 3/10 deals of fine flour for an oblation mingled with oil, and 1 log of oil. And the priest that make him clean shall present the man that is to be made clean and those things before Yahuwah at the door of the tabernacle of the assembly. And the priest shall take one lamb and offer him for a trespass offering, and the log of oil, wave them for a wave offering before Yahuwah. And he shall slay the lamb in the place where he shall kill the sin offering and the ascending smoke offering, and the ascending smoke offering in the holy place. As as the sin offering is the priest, so is the trespass offering. It is most holy. And the priest shall take some of the blood of the trespass offering, and the priest shall put it upon the tip of the right ear of him that is to be cleansed, and upon the thumb of his right hand, and upon the great toe of his right foot. And the priest shall take some of the log of oil and pour it into the palm of his own left hand, and the priest shall dip his right finger in the oil that is in his left hand, and shall sprinkle the oil with his finger 7 times before Yahuwah, and of the rest of the oil that is in his hand shall the priest put upon the tip of the right ear of him that is to be cleansed, and upon the thumb of his right hand, and upon the great toe of his right foot, upon the blood of the trespass offering. And the remnant of the oil that is in the priest's hand he shall pour upon the head of him that is to be cleansed. And the priest shall make an atonement for him before Yahuwah. And the priest shall offer the sin offering, and make an atonement for him that is to be cleansed. That is to be cleansed from his uncleanness. And afterwards he shall kill the ascending smoke offering, and the priest shall offer the ascending smoke offering and the oblation upon the altar. And the priest shall make an atonement for him, and he shall be clean, and he shall be clean. And if he be poor and cannot get so much, then he shall take 1 lamb for a trespass offering to be weighed, to make an atonement for him, and 1/10 deal of fine flour mingled with oil for an oblation, and a log of oil, and 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, such as he is able to get, and one shall be a sin offering, and the other an ascending smoke offering. And he shall bring them on the 8th day for his cleansing unto the priest, unto the door of the tabernacle of the assembly before Yahuwah. And the priest shall take the lamb of the trespass offering and the log of oil, and the priest shall wave them for a wave offering before Yahuwah. And he shall kill the lamb of the trespass offering, and the priest shall take some of the blood of the trespass offering, and put it upon the tip of the right ear of him that is to be cleansed, and upon the thumb of the right hand, and upon the great toe of the right foot. And the priest shall pour of the oil into the palm of his left hand, and the priest shall sprinkle with his right finger, some of the oil that is in his left hand 7 times before Yahuwah. And the priest shall put of the oil that is in his hand on the tip of the right ear of him that is to be cleansed, and upon the thumb of the right hand, and upon the great toe of his right foot, upon the place of the blood of the trespass offering. And the rest of the oil that is in the priest's hand, he shall pour upon the head of him that is to be cleansed, to make an atonement for him before Yahuwah. And he shall offer the one of the turtle doves and of the young pigeon, such as he can get, even such as he is able to get, the one of the sin offering, and the order for the ascending smoke offering with the oblation. And the priest shall make an atonement for him that is to be cleansed before Yahuwah, that is the Torah of him in whom the plague of leprosy, whose hand is not able to get that which pertains to his cleansing. And Yahuwah spoke unto Moshe and unto Aaron, saying, when you shall come into the land of Canaan, which I give to you for a possession, and I put the plague of leprosy in the house of the land of your possession, and he that owns the house shall come and tell the priest, saying, it seems to me there is as it were a plague in the house. Then the priest shall command that they empty the house before the priest go into it to see the plague, that all that is in the house be not made unclean. And afterwards the priest shall go in to see the house, and he shall look on the plague, and behold, if the plague be in the wall of the house, with hollow streaks, greenish and reddish, then which in sight be lower than the wall, then the priest shall go out of the house to the door of the house, and shall shut the door 7 days. And the priest shall come again the 7th day, and shall look, and behold, if the plague be spread in the wall of the house, then the priest shall command that they take away the stone in which the plague is, and they shall cast them into an unclean place without the city, that's outside the city. And he shall cause the house to be scraped within round about, and shall pour out the dust that they scrape off without the city it into an unclean place. And they shall take other stones and put them in the place of those stones, and they shall take other mortar and shall plaster the house. And if the plague come again and break out in the house, then after that he has taken away the stone, and after he has scraped the house, and after it is plastered, then the priest shall come and look, and behold, if the plague be spread in the house, it is a fretting leprosy in the house, it is unclean. And he shall break down the house, the stone of it, and the timber thereof, and all the mortar of the house, and he shall carry them forth out of the city into an unclean place. Moreover, he that goes into the house all the while it is shut up shall be unclean until even. And he that lies in the house shall wash his clothes, and he shall eat in the house, and he that eats in the house shall wash his clothes. And if the priest shall come in and look upon it, and behold, the plague has not spread in the house, after the house was plastered, then the priest shall pronounce the house clean, because the plague is healed. And he shall take to cleanse the house 2 birds, a cedar wood, and scarlet, and hyssop. And he shall kill one of the birds, in a earthen vessel over the running water, and he shall take the cedar wood and the hyssop and the scarlet and the living bird, and dip it in the blood of the slain bird and in the running water, and sprinkle the house 7 times. And he shall cleanse the house with the blood of the bird, and with the running water, and with the living water, and with the cedar wood, and with the hyssop, and with the scarlet. And he shall go, and he shall let go of the living bird out of the city into the open field, and make an atonement for the house, and it shall be clean. This is the Torah for all manner of plague of leprosy and scab, and for the leprosy of a garment and of a house, and for a rising, and for a scab, and for a bright spot, to teach when it is unclean and when it is clean. This is the Torah of leprosy. Wow. Now we're in chapter 15. And Yahuwah spoke unto El Moshe and Aaron, saying, Speak unto the children of Yasharel, and say unto them, When any man has a running issue out of his flesh because of his issue, he is unclean. And this shall be his uncleanness on his issue, whether his flesh run with this issue, or his flesh be stopped from this issue, from his issue, it is his uncleanness. Every bed wherein he lies that he has the issue is unclean, and everything whereon he sits shall be unclean. And whosoever touches his bed shall wash his clothes, and bath himself in water, and be unclean until the even. And he that sits on anything whereon he sat that has the issue washes his clothes, and bath himself in water, and be unclean until the even. And he that touches the flesh of him that has the issue shall wash his clothes, and bath himself in the water, and be unclean until the even. And if he that has the issue spit upon him that is clean, then he shall wash his clothes, and bath himself in water, and be unclean until the even. And what saddle soever he rides upon that has the issue shall be unclean. And whosoever touches anything that was under him shall be unclean until the even. And he that shall bear any of those things shall wash his clothes, and bath himself in water, and be unclean until the even. And whomsoever he touches that has the issue, and has not rinsed his hands in water, he shall wash his clothes, and bath himself in water, and be unclean until the even. And the vessel of earth that he touches, which has the issue, shall be broken, and every vessel of the wood shall be rinsed in water. And when he that has an issue is cleansed of his issue, then he shall number of himself 7 days of his cleansing, and wash his clothes, and bath his flesh in the running water, and shall be clean. And on the 8th day he shall take to him 2 turtle doves and 2 young pigeons, and come before Yahuwah unto the door of the tabernacle of the assembly, and give them unto the priest. And the priest shall offer them, the one for a sin offering, and the other for an ascending smoke offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for him before Yahuwah for his issue. And if any man's seed of copulation go out from him, then he shall wash his flesh in water, and be unclean until the even. And every garment and every skin whereon is the seed of copulation, he shall be washed with water, and be unclean until the even. The woman that lie with whom the man shall lie with seed of copulation, they shall both bath themselves in water, and be unclean until the even. And if a man shall have an issue, and if a woman have an issue, and her issue in her flesh be blood, that's menstrual flow, She shall be put away, shall be put apart, 7 days, and whosoever touches her shall be unclean until the even. Wow. I'm sure you can actually see that this part actually goes into the aspect of men and women now. That's especially the married ones. That is to prove to you that the wickedness of this world actually needs to stop. You can see that even Yahuwah said that when a seed of copulation, which is called sperm, if it touches any cloth or any person, that person actually needs to be cleansed, needs to get bath and be washed, and will be unclean until the evening. But yet, we are in a world now whereby the enemies make our people believe in what they call what the so-called BJ, having them pour the seed of copulation all over women's body and other things. Some even go as far as even suck out. Like, what kind of irritation is this? The Most High created man, and he created a place where those seeds are meant to dwell, not to be spilled on anybody's body or to be spilled on the floor. That's why I advise. It's better you read to know things. He gave the law of the seed of copulation. If you and the wife actually are having the right of marriage, you as a man, you have no right to spill your seed either on your wife's body or maybe on any cloth. Because when you do such, both the cloth at which is spilled and even the person at which the seed was spilled upon, both of them actually are unclean. They will need to get themselves to bath, and they remain unclean until the evening. And it talks about the women in their issue, that's their menstrual flow. She is meant to be set apart for 7 days. So our men learn to be persevering. Don't say that because the wife actually is under a menstrual flow. Once she's done with the menstrual flow, then I go back to heat. Once you note the day of our issue, just mark 7 days. An average menstrual flow goes for at least 2-3 days. So at least in the space of 2-3 days, you can give her extra 4 days to heal up. You can give her that extra 4 days between the 7 days to heal up. Let us go ahead. 20. And everything that she lies upon in her separation shall be unclean. Everything also that she sits upon shall be unclean. Whosoever touches her bed shall wash his clothes and bath himself in water and be unclean until the even. Whosoever touches anything that she sat upon shall wash his clothes and bath himself in water and be unclean until the even. And if it be on her bed or on anything whereon she sits, when he touches it, he shall be unclean until the even. And if any man lie with her at all, and a flower be upon him, that's the blood, he shall be unclean 7 days, and all the bed whereon he lies shall be unclean. And if a woman have an issue of her blood many days out of the time of her separation, or if it run beyond the time of her separation, all the day of her issue of her uncleanness shall be as the number of her separation. She shall be unclean. Every bed whereon she lies all the days of her issue shall be unto her as a bed of her separation. Whatsoever she sits upon shall be unclean, and the uncleanness as the uncleanness of her separation. Whosoever touches those, whosoever touches those, whosoever touches those things shall be unclean, and shall wash his clothes and bath himself in water and be unclean until the even. But if she be cleansed of her issue, then she shall number of herself 7 days, and after that she shall be cleansed. She shall be clean. That's after a menstrual flow. She shall number herself 7 days. 7 days, they shall be fully clean. And on the 8th day, she shall take unto her two turtles and one young pigeon, and bring them unto the priest to the door of the tabernacle of the assembly. And the priest shall offer the one for a sin offering and the other for ascended smoke offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for her before Yahweh for the issue of her uncleanness. Thus shall you separate the children of Yasharel from their uncleanness, that they die not in their uncleanness. When they defile my tabernacle that is among you. This is the Torah of him that has an issue, and of him whose seed goes out from him, and is defiled therewith, and of her that is sick of her flour, and of him that has an issue of the man and of the woman, and of him that lies with her that is unclean.
Know the line. Are you searching for a conducive and affordable apartment within the Bahari Beach, Tanzania? Don't go too far. We have 4-bedroom furnished apartments, 3 BHK, 2 en-suite bedrooms, and 1 public toilet. And our building is well fitted with the air conditioner, free water, just 5 to 7 minutes drive from Bahari Beach. Also, we have 1 free border ride to the beach per month, access to Fire Sticks, DSW TV available as well. And don't forget, we also have unlimited Wi-Fi just for 50,000 per month. And also, our conducive apartment is close to Jambo Supermarket, close to Kibo Plaza, close to Vodacom and Tigo Pesa, close to many Wakala stations, close to Barabara Restaurant, close to Yoki Market, Leisure Plaza Hotel and Restaurant and Pool, close to Budget Resort Restaurant, and also close to TJ Daycare, to prove that our apartment has good landmarks within the outskirts of Tanzania. Also, we have rentals of BMX bicycle with motor. We have the Mercedes-Benz bicycle and the mountain foldable travel bicycle for rent as well. So, all these great things can only cost you just 1.5 million per month for the next 3 months of the rental for this apartment. Wow! Why not to make it a date? Come home, visit the motherland, come look at the prestigious view of Tanzania at the comfort of what you can ever imagine. To get all this offer, please contact 144 Global Solution on this phone number +2 5 5 7 6 9 4 0 2 7 4 3. Also contact us via email at mayaspeakstz@gmail.com. And I'm hoping and also promising that this will be a treat that you will never forget. Because with 144 Global Solutions, we are always here to bring solution to your luxurious living. It's like home.
For sponsorship, advert placement, please call or WhatsApp this number +234 811 731 0928. Who said that the righteous also can pull off a righteous swag? Lamentations chapter 4 verse 2 says that the sons of Israel are also referred as unto fine gold. This is enough to tell you that you can rock your swag and still yet be righteous. Join Great Awakening Clothing today to get the best of outfits, putting nice print, propagating the truth through your clothing to the face of every human on the street. We have it in varieties, from the face cap to the different designs of clothes, putting out the truth right on the clothes you're wearing, and also rocking the truth righteously in your swag, which I call the righteous swag of Great Awakening clothing. That's why we are called Clothing That Ministers. For booking and order, please call +1 7 2 5 2 1 8 7 9 9 1. You can also visit our website at www.greatawakeningclothingline.com. Great Awakening Clothing LLC, the clothing that ministers.
Activate. 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 Activate.
Who said that the righteous don't party?
It's party time!
Are you hoping to hold a show having an exclusive DJ come to mix with righteous songs from various Hebrew artists coming from different parts of the world, bringing their unique voices to praise Yahuwah using the ministry of songs, and also having a DJ who can help us mix the sync of musics together to make you shake your body and dance off your sorrow righteously? Please contact DJ UL Kingdom Music.
Yo, shalom and peace. Be encouraged. This is DJ Yoel. Hold on to the vision the Most High gave you. He will bring it to pass.
For booking and inquiry, please call DJ Joel on +1 770 256 2241. Call us today and let's make your event a memorable one. Joel Kingdom Music, bringing the vibe of righteousness into your event.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. So let us continue from where we stopped. Now we are in chapter 16. And Yahuwah spoke unto Moshe after the death of the two sons of Aaron, when they offered before Yahuwah and died. And Yahuwah said unto Moshe, speak unto Aaron your brother, that he come not at all times into the holy place within the veil before the mercy seat, which is upon the ark, that he die not. For I will appear in the cloud upon the mercy seat. Thus shall Aaron come into the holy place with a young bullock for a sin offering and a ram for an ascending smoke offering. And he shall put on the holy linen coat, and he shall have the linen breeches upon his flesh, and shall be girded with a linen belt, and with the linen turban shall he be tied. These are holy garments. Therefore shall he wash his flesh in water, and so put them on. And he shall take to the assembly of the children of Israel 2 kids of the goats for a sin offering, and 1 ram for an ascending smoke offering. And Aaron shall offer his bullock of the sin offering, which is for himself, and make an atonement for himself and for his house. And he shall take the 2 goats and present them before Yahuwah at the door of the tabernacle of the assembly. And Aaron shall cast lots upon the 2 goats, 1 lot for Yahuwah, and the other lot for Azazel. The word Azazel actually simply means a scapegoat, or the scapegoat, pardon. And one for Azazel. And Aaron shall bring the goat upon which Yahuwah's lot fell, and offer him for a sin offering. But the goat which the lot fell to be for Azazel shall be presented alive before Yahuwah to make an atonement with him, and let him go for Azazel into the wilderness. And Aaron shall bring the bullock for the sin offering, which is for himself, and shall make an atonement for himself and for his house, and shall kill the bullock of the sin offering, which is for himself. And he shall take the censer full of burning coal of fire from off the altar before Yahuwah, and his hand full of sweet incense, beaten small, and shall bring it within the veil, and he shall put the incense upon the fire before Yahuwah, and that the cloud of the incense may cover the mercy seat cover the mercy seat that is upon the testimony, that he die not. That's why when you have your censer and you're burning the incense, the foggy smoke is what's talking about, the cloud here. So for it to be called a cloud, that means it has to be very thick. That's why you are making the incense. Don't say you are trying to manage the incense. Burn enough incense so that the smoke can be so foggy and as thick as a cloud. 14. And he shall take of the blood of the bullock and sprinkle it with his finger upon the mercy seat eastward, and bring the mercy seat, and before the mercy seat shall he sprinkle the blood with his finger 7 times. Then shall he kill the goat of the sin offering that is for the people, and bring his blood within the veil, and do with that blood as he did with the blood of the bullock, and sprinkle it upon the mercy seat and before the mercy seat. And he shall make an atonement for the holy place, because of the uncleanness of children of Yasharel, and because of their transgression in their sins. And so shall he do for the tabernacle of the assembly that remains among them in the midst of their uncleanness. And there shall be no man in the tabernacle of the assembly when he goes in to make an atonement in the holy place, until he comes out and have made an atonement for himself and for his household and for all the assembly of Yasharel. And he shall go out unto the altar that is before Yahuwah, and make an atonement for it, and shall take of the blood of the bullock, and of the blood of the goat, and put it upon the horns of the altar round about. And he shall sprinkle of the blood upon it with his finger 7 times, and cleanse it, and hallow it from the uncleanness of children of Yasharel. And when he has made an end of reconciliation, the holy place, the tabernacle of the assembly, and the altar, he shall bring the live goat, and Aaron shall lay both his hand upon the head of the live goat, and confess over him all the iniquity of the children of Yasharel, and all their transgressions in all their sins, and putting them upon the head of the goat, and shall send them away by the hand of a fit man into the wilderness. And the goat shall bear upon him all their iniquities upon a land not inhabited, and he shall let go the goats in the wilderness. And Aaron shall come into the tabernacle of the assembly, and shall put off the linen garment which he put on when he went into the holy place, and shall leave them there. And he shall wash his flesh with water in the holy place, and put on his garment, and come forth, and offer his ascending smoke offering, and the ascending smoke offering of the people, and make an atonement for himself and for the people. And the fat of the sin offering shall he burn upon the altar. And he that lets go the goat for Azazel shall wash his clothes, and bathe his flesh in water, and afterwards come into the camp. And the bullock for the sin offering, and the goat for the sin offering, whose blood was brought in to make atonement in the holy place, shall one carry forth without the camp, and they shall be burned in the fire with their skin, and their dung, and he that burns them shall wash his clothes and bathe his flesh in water, and afterwards shall come into the camp, and this shall be a statute forever unto you, that in the 7th month of the 10th day of the month ye shall afflict your soul. Do no works at all, whether it be one of your own country or a stranger that sojourn among you. For on that day shall the priest take an atonement for you, to cleanse you, that ye may be clean from all your sins before Yahuwah. It shall be a Shabbat of rest unto you, and ye shall afflict your soul for a statute forever. Now, for those of you who might be asking yourself, or might be asking about, how do we have the so-called Day of Atonement? Day of Atonement, whereby the whole nation of Yasharel have to afflict their soul, which is going into the aspect of fasting. It shall be a Shabbat unto us, that means we will not work. That day we will afflict our soul all through and not do any work. Verse 32, and the priest whom he shall anoint and whom he shall consecrate to minister in the priest's office in his father's stead shall make an atonement, and shall put on the linen cloth, even the holy garment, and he shall make an atonement for the holy sanctuary, and he shall make an atonement for the tabernacle of the assembly and for the altar, and he shall make an atonement for the priest and for the people of the assembly, and this shall be an everlasting statute unto you, to make an atonement for the children of Yasharel and for all their sins once a year. And he did as Yahuwah commanded Moshe. The last chapter for today, chapter 17. And Yahuwah spoke unto Moshe, saying, Speak unto Aharon and unto his sons and unto all the children of Yasharel, and say unto them, This is the thing which Yahuwah has commanded, saying, What man soever there be of the house of Yasharel that kills an ox or lamb or goat in the camp, or that kills it out of the camp, and bring it not unto the door of the tabernacle to offer an offering unto Yahuwah before the tabernacle of Yahuwah, blood shall be imputed unto that man. He has shed blood, and that man shall be cut off from among his people, to the end of the children of Yasharel may bring their sacrifices, which they offered in the open field, even that they may bring unto Yahuwah, unto the door of the tabernacle of the assembly, unto the priest, and offer them for peace offering unto Yahuwah. And the priest shall sprinkle the blood upon the altar of Yahuwah at the door of the tabernacle of the assembly, and burn the fat of the sweets for a sweet savour unto Yahuwah. And they shall no more offer their sacrifices unto devils, after whom they have gone a whoring. This shall be a statute forever unto them throughout their generations. And you shall say unto them, Whatsoever man there be of the house of Yasharel, or of the stranger which sojourn among you, that offer an ascending smoke offering or sacrifice, and bring it not unto the door of the tabernacle of the assembly to offer it unto Yahuwah, even that man shall be cut off from among his people. And whatsoever man there be of the house of Yasharel, or of the stranger that sojourn among you, that eat any manner of blood, I will even set my face against that soul that eats the blood, and will cut him off from among his people. Like I advised yesterday. Remember this, how will I put it? We read that part yesterday about that they should not eat any manner of blood. It's not talking about that maybe they cannot eat the Passover lamb or whatever. It's talking about those that eat meat that is not fully cooked Remember, when the food is not fully cooked, the blood in it is still intact. For example, those who are eating barbecues that are half done, and they keep saying, I enjoy my barbecue because it's juicy. It is the blood in that undone animal that you are eating that you are calling juicy. Let us stop from this. For the soul of the flesh is in the blood. You see that? The soul of that flesh is in the blood. He and I have given it to you up unto the altar to make an atonement for your sin. For it is the blood of him that makes an atonement is the soul. In the soul, sorry. Therefore, I said unto the children of Yasharel, no soul of you shall eat blood, neither shall any stranger that sojourn among you eat blood. And whatsoever man dare be of the children of Yasharel, or of the stranger that sojourn among you, which hunts and catch any beast or fowl that may be eaten, and he shall even pour out the blood thereof and cover it with dust. You see that? For it is the life of all flesh. The blood of it is for the life thereof. Therefore I said unto the son of Yasharel, you shall eat the blood of no manner of flesh. For the life of all flesh is the blood thereof. Whosoever it shall be cut off, whosoever eats it shall be cut off. You see that? For those that are saying that it means you should not eat flesh at all, Yahuwah said in verse 13 that even which sojourn or catches, which hunts, and when you go to hunt, you kill an animal, which hunts or catch any beast or fowl that may be eaten. So don't make a mistake and think maybe that eating meat actually is a sin. No. It's only when you eat the meat half done, having the blood in it, that is when it is a sin. So if you want to eat meat or whatever, let it be well prepared. If you want to barbecue your meat, barbecue it to be well done. Let it be well barbecued and cooked so that you not be eating blood. That's why most times I tell people there's a way you barbecue whatever you want to barbecue. To avoid the blood, you have to mark those meat or the fish, you mark it evenly so that the fire can be able to, the smoke of the fire and the steam can be able to go through those marked spots so that it can be able to done inside. Not that it's only done on the outside and the inside actually is half done. Let's go on. Verse 15. And every soul that eats that which die of itself, that's animal that die by itself, not that you kill the animal, and that which was torn with beast, that means maybe like your goat was killed by a lion or killed by a wild beast, you have to remember you have to go and cook it by yourself, which whether it be one of your own country or a stranger, they shall both wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the evening. Then shall he be clean. Last verse for today. But if he wash them not, nor bathe his flesh, then he shall bear his iniquity. So I praise the Most High for a successful class today. Yazoo will meet again tomorrow on the same program, Daily Tonic in the Word, right here on GC Create TV. I remain your host, Daniel Fesana Yasharala. And with this, I say shalom and bye for now.